Hi and welcome to Healing 101 with Vicki. This is a little healing series for practices that you can do at home, and I've tied this healing in with my blog, the closed heart. When the closed heart becomes open and feelings are overwhelmed and we don't really know where to put those feelings, and how it can sort of muck up our thinking. And so this little chakra crystal grid and little healing will actually help you come to terms with, also not come to terms with it, but just help bring peace, so that while you work through the overwhelm and the feelings and bring an understanding, because it will always happen, the resolution of that will always happen in its own time. It's not something that can be rushed, but it can be confusing, and you can ease the pain and suffering and trauma of it by doing a little self-healings on yourself every day. So I've chosen some cards from the John Holland deck, which is the one that I use in my healing practice when I'm working with people. So for the base chakra, I have chosen Passion Ignited, which is what happens when the closed heart becomes activated again. Passion is ignited, and it's almost like everything spills over, and feelings are everywhere, and it's like, oh, this is what life was all about, and we get very excited. But as I said, it becomes very muddled because I'm not really sure which direction to head to move it in. Okay, and I've chosen the a tiger's eye to go with the base chakra. That card is also a number one if you're playing along. The second card I chose for the Sakura Chakra is Spiritual Union. And when generally what happens when the closed heart is activated, you will find someone will come into your and connect with your soul who feels like a soulmate, and they will open or activate the heart. More often than not, as you read in my blog, it may not be somebody that is available to you right now, but they will connect with you, have been sent to connect with you, so that you feel, and it's almost like the heart explodes open, and it feels like a very special, and it is a very special union, but it's not always something that will last forever. So for that one, I have chosen a rose quartz to go on that chakra. Now what I'll do, I'm just showing you cards. I have very limited space here, and I'm just going to show you cards in the crystal I'm using, and at the end of this video I will show you a picture of the grid. Okay, and this video is just how to tell you how to activate it all. So for the solar plexus, I have chosen Rejoice in Celebration, and the solar plexus represents that our self-esteem and how the world sees us, and so we are finally in the space where we think, oh, I can actually have a relationship. There's actually something, I actually want to have something more permanent. The Three of Cups, which is what this one represents, is like a commitment or a union. And so the self-esteem rises, and we actually feel that we're worthy to have a committed relationship. So for that chakra, I'm going to choose I'm going to go the chrysocolla, which is normally associated with the heart or the thymus, but I'm going to use that one for this. We're just opening up that higher space, the higher heart energy. Now for the heart itself, we've got awareness. So the closed heart now becomes the activated heart, and we have a deeper awareness of the depth of love that we have been missing out on, because the closed heart has had a protective shield around it. So for that one, I'm going to choose amethyst for the heart and for the awareness. You'll notice that it's also a number one. So the next card is for the I'm going to go, I didn't have a particular card that I wanted to use for the next one. The closed heart is connected very much, I believe, to the Thymus Chakra, which is between the heart and the throat. It is represented by an aquamarine colour, so I've just chosen a colour card for that one. Now normally I would probably use a Larimar crystal or a Lemurian seed crystal for the thymus. Now the thymus connects us to our higher self and our purpose. It is the one that is just about us. It's not about us in the spirit world or anything like that. It's our personal connection to our karmic journey. And more often than not, when people are feeling disconnected from the spirit world, it's because this one feels a little bit disconnected. And so I'm going to use this agate, which is a beautiful or aquamarine colour. You could even use the crystal aquamarine. And because I'm on the road, I've only got a very limited amount of crystals, so from my personal collection there that I use for my healings, and so, but that's quite appropriate for those two. Now, so the next one we're looking at is the throat chakra. Out of the John Holland deck, I actually chose the throat chakra symbol for that one, because when the closed heart becomes active again, very much, it's very difficult to articulate how we are feeling. It's difficult to articulate or to communicate with the object of our affection or the person who we have affection for, and it's very difficult to, it's like it's confusing, because it's we feel like we have no power, but we're very powerful within the love. And again, for context, have a read of the blog, but very much the throat chakra needs to be represented there. Now, what crystal will I use? I'm thinking sodalite for the throat chakra. Very strong, very powerful. I'm going to talk about this crystal. For the third eye, I have chosen the card of hope. Now, in the third eye, we get to see our future. We get to visualize where we can actually, like where we can end up. So when the closed heart becomes activated, it brings back hope into our lives. Sometimes that where you've had protection around your heart and somebody turns up and just blows all that wide open, and we're all of a sudden thinking, oh my goodness, I really want to have a relationship again, and why can't it be with this person, and so on and so forth. It still activates this part of us that says, I can actually see a future for myself now. Whereas once before, that may have been dormant, or we we may have felt a little bit sad about that we couldn't actually see a future, and we had resigned ourselves to the fact that we may not be going to have another relationship. It brings hope. We can actually now see and visualize ourselves in a relationship. So that's why I've chosen that one for that card for there. Now, I'm going to choose, I've got a lovely rough piece of labradorite here. I'm going to use that one. Labradorite is great for opening up those visual aspects in the third eye. So that lastly, as you can see, for the crown chakra, I've got emotional loss. So I chose emotional loss because I believe that what we are letting go of is past hurts, patterns of behaviour, and the crown chakra can also oftentimes be associated with those past lives, patterns, the ideas and the inspiration where we think, oh, this is how things should be. We're going to break that pattern or that cycle of emotional grief and loss. And so for this one, I've chosen a selenite, and that's always a great crystal for the crown chakra, because that connects us with those higher spirit energies. So what do we do next? We take those and we get our, the other thing you need is, and you can choose your own crystals, and you can choose your own cards that resonate with you. Each card represents a different chakra. You can choose your own crystals. There's no hard and fast rule. I've just chosen those ones because they're the ones I thought were appropriate for this demonstration. Now you take your pendulum, and what you do over each chakra card, which represents you yourself, is you deliberately swing the pendulum in an anti-clockwise direction to draw anything that may need healing out of that chakra. I just want to also say, this doesn't always have to be about the closed heart. This can be for any chakra healing, by the way. So it doesn't always have to be about the heart. You don't have to be experiencing that condition. So this can be for anything. You choose. So, but this is a little exercise that I like to do. So I deliberately swing the pendulum in an anti-clockwise direction to draw anything out that needs to be healing. So drawing it out from that chakra until it stops on its own accord. and then I stop that, and then I deliberately move the pendulum crystal in a clockwise direction to then generate or activate the chakra and get it moving in a positive and helpful, supportive way for me or for that client that I'm working with at that time. And then you do that with each of those different chakras, anti-clockwise to draw the energy out and release it, releasing it to the highest good, and then in a clockwise direction to put the energy back into the chakra. So you can do that for yourself at home or for friends or family if you want to do it. It doesn't really matter. It's how you set an intention. This is Healing 101 for you at home to do on a daily basis. So you can actually do this. Set the intention that this is you. Set out your cards and your crystals. Get your pendulum out and give yourself a nice healing. You can do it every day. You can just do it in 5 minutes if you want to. You don't even have to have a reason for doing it. This is just a nice way to actually, draw anything out that may be holding you back, and then re-energizing that chakra as well. Choose any card you want. You can use colors if you want to. You can just use crystals if you want to. But each of them would represent a different chakra, and the pendulum will be the tool that you use to draw the energy and then rebuild the energy within that chakra. And then once it's done, you can then just say a little prayer over that person, or you can say a little affirmation, or you can just move the whole pendulum in an anti-clockwise around the whole body, around the whole 7, like in a big arc, as into release, and then a whole clockwise direction around the whole 7, or I've got 8 there, to energize. And that's the way that you can wind the healing up. But experiment with it. It's just a little bit of a different way to utilize the energies that we all have within us. It's a different way of setting and focusing an intention around something. Just experiment with it and see what works for you. But it's just I like to just give you some little ideas about how you can do this for yourself at home. If you can't get to a healer, or you might not be able to, might not know what sort of healing you want, this is a nice way to do a little bit of first aid at home. Anyway, I'll leave that with you. Thanks for joining me. Again, my name is Vicki Haspels. My website's vickihaspels.com, and I will see you next week. This has been Healing 101 for you at home. With love.